The rain hadn't stopped for 3 days. Through the cracked window of a one-room apartment, Maya watched her children sleep on the only mattress they owned. Her husband's photograph sat beside a stack of unpaid bills, his smile now a painful reminder of promises that would never be kept. She was 32, a widow, and completely alone. But in her weathered hands, she held something the world hadn't yet seen, a hand-drawn blueprint that would change everything. Maya Patel had never imagined this life. 2 years ago, she was a homemaker in a middle-class family in Mumbai. Her husband Raj worked at a textile factory, and their children, year-old Arjun and 5-year-old Priya, nothing of struggle. Then came the accident. A factory fire that took Raj and left Maya with nothing but memories and mounting debt. The relatives who had once filled their home with laughter at festivals now crossed the street to avoid her. The landlord knocked harder each month. Maya had never worked outside her home, had no college degree, no connections. All she had were the sewing skills her mother had taught her and a stubborn refusal to let her children's dreams die with their father. Maya's first attempt was cleaning houses, 12 hours a day, her hands raw from bleach and desperation. The pay barely covered food, let alone rent. She came home exhausted, watching Arjun help Priya with homework by candlelight because they couldn't afford electricity. Her second try was selling homemade snacks outside the local school. For weeks, she stood in the scorching sun, watching other vendors with established customers while her food grew cold. The health inspector shut her down for not having proper permits she couldn't afford. The third failure cut deepest. She borrowed money from a loan shark to buy a sewing machine, planning to do alterations from home. But the machine broke within a month, and the repairs cost more than she'd earned. The lender came calling, his threats echoing through their thin walls, while her children pretended to sleep. By her fourth attempt tutoring neighborhood children, Maya was hollow-eyed and desperate. But parents worried about leaving their children with someone so obviously struggling. How can she teach our kids when she can't even take care of her own? They whispered. The fifth failure nearly broke her. She applied for a job at a garment factory, the same type where Raj had died. They rejected her application. No experience, they said, not seeing the irony that experience was exactly what she was trying to gain. On a December evening, with eviction notice in hand and her children's questions about dinner hanging in the air, Maya sat on their tiny balcony, 8 floors below. The city hummed with the success of others. She could end it, all the struggle, the shame, the constant fear in her children's eyes. But then Priya climbed into her lap, her small fingers tracing the blueprint Maya still carried everywhere. "Mama, what's this drawing?" Maya looked at the paper, her secret dream. A design for adaptive clothing for elderly people and those with disabilities. She'd noticed the problem while caring for Raj's bedridden father before he passed. How difficult it was to dress him. How the existing clothes caused discomfort and indignity. Her design was simple, but revolutionary: magnetic closures, easy access panels, dignity preserved. "It's just an idea, Beta," Maya whispered. "It looks important," Priya said. "Like Daddy's work drawings." That night, instead of sleeping, Maya researched. Using the neighbor's Wi-Fi and an old phone, she learned about patents, about small business loans, about entrepreneurship programs for women. She discovered that adaptive clothing was a growing market, that millions of families faced the same struggles they had with Raj's father. Maya's breakthrough came through an unexpected source: a social media post. With Arjun's help, she created a simple video showing her clothing prototype made from bed sheets and safety pins. She shared her story, her struggles, her dream to help other families. The response was overwhelming. Messages poured in from caregivers, from families, from people who had never found clothing solutions for their loved ones. A local NGO saw her video and offered workspace. A retired fashion designer volunteered to mentor her. An investor, moved by her authenticity, offered initial funding. But Maya's real turning point wasn't the money, it was the moment she realized her pain had purpose. Every rejection, every failure, every sleepless night had taught her exactly what the market needed because she had lived it. She started small, working from the NGO space, hiring other women in similar situations. Her first customer was an elderly man whose daughter cried with relief when her father could dress himself again with dignity. 3 years later, Maya's company, Sahara Adaptive Wear, employs 47 women, many of them widows and single mothers. Her designs are sold across India and internationally. Arjun, now 11, helps with the company's social media. Priya, 8, designs children's versions of the clothing. But Maya's greatest victory isn't measured in revenue. It's in the photos customers send grandparents hugging grandchildren. They can now dress independently. Caregivers who no longer struggle with complicated buttons and zippers. Families finding dignity in daily routines. The woman who once sat on that balcony contemplating escape now speaks at conferences about resilience and innovation. But she never forgets that rain-soaked night when everything seemed impossible. Maya still keeps that original blueprint, now framed in her office. Not as a reminder of success, but of the truth she learned in her darkest hour, that our greatest failures often point toward our greatest purposes. Your pain isn't punishment. It's preparation. Your struggles aren't signs to quit. They're signals showing you exactly what the world needs you to heal. If this story touched you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs one more reason to try again. Because somewhere tonight, another person is sitting in the rain, holding onto a dream they think is impossible. Show them it's not.